We are right at the end of 2024, and for this final video, I thought I'd end off with some advice for 2025. In the previous two, we talked about savings and investment and also about enjoying your money, so I don't think I need to give a lot more advice on the finance front. I thought I'd tackle that other big New Year's resolution, health. And for that, my guest today is Dr Christine Taljaard-Krugell. She's a registered dietitian and staff member in the School of Applied Health Sciences, Nutrition. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you, Waldo.
So, consumers are under a lot less pressure this festive season compared to last year. Last year, the fuel price was between around 50 and 2 Rand a litre higher than it is today, and food price inflation was still a major issue confronting most households. Now, these days things look a lot better, and there are even some food items of which the prices have decreased. Now that households have this additional breathing room in their budget for December, how do we make good choices that puts you in a position to make, well, sensible New Year's resolutions for 2025? So, Christine, what is your advice?
Thank you, Waldo. So I think we're touching here on two major issues. The one is still to, think about affordability. How do you actually get through December and January with your paycheck? And then also, how do we try to have some sort of a healthy holiday, and what does that look like? And so I think the first thing that one can talk about is how can we be waste-free families? So how do we aim to really reduce our food waste this holiday?
I think that's a big issue. The stats are out there that when there's a lot of excess in the holiday season in particular, food waste is a big part of that. And there's some food waste in production and in retail, but a significant share of this happens in the household.
Absolutely.
So what is your advice?
So I think specifically if you think about household level and then what's happening with families and where we tend to eat. So obviously in the festive season, we like to have big family meals, and so also just planning a little bit more carefully about how much do you actually need to prepare. And often that last piece of scalp choppy is okay, Dad will have it, but
right.
Instead of maybe being a meal for the next day. And then I think also thinking about food waste, making sure that those food that are leftovers doesn't end up in the dustbin, but actually get maybe to a family who are really in need of food, and sharing in that festive season, sharing mentality.
Wonderful. And well, added on to that, I think in the festive season, there's a lot of other stuff going on. You're going out, you're eating out, you're having sort of drinks all around. How do you do this in a more conscious and healthy way?
Yeah, so, and I think touching on that, during the festive season, families are more prone maybe to go out for breakfast or have a meal outside. And then South Africa is known for its big portion sizes. So often it really is, more than enough to say, okay, but let me share something with someone, rather than, again, having your own big meal and a lot of that just going back to the kitchen and going back into the dustbin. Also, if you think about, going out and drinking, I think a big theme that we can touch on is to rethink your drink. And a lot of the calories that we don't want in January actually comes from those drinks. And nowadays, these are cold and hot drinks. So even if you just look about, the difference between an Americano and maybe a frappe or a caramel macchiato, or you can have like 10 times more calories in some of those drinks than just having an Americano with some cold or hot milk. So it also is a little bit about making those smart choices and deciding, okay, when are you going to have your sweet treat, and when are you going to try and limit those calorie intakes.
Economists are interested in the so-called sugar tax, or the tax on sugar sweetened beverages and everything around that.
Absolutely.
But there's also been, of course, a nutrition angle to this with reformulation.
Yes.
The sizes of these soft drinks have changed, the contents have changed. How do the experts think about that?
Yeah, so in essence, I think everybody is quite positive about reformulation and the fact that you do see a lot less sugar in your sugary drinks that are often more consumed in summer times. It's warm, it's hot. But what we have seen is that almost all of these drinks now have non-nutritive sweeteners in, or what's known as artificial sweeteners. And I think the basic line there is that we just don't know. And the WHO is quite clear on that. We just don't know what is the consequences of long-term consumption of these artificial sweeteners. And then, of course, with children, creating that sweet palate from a young age is actually something that you don't want to do. So I think still in line with the rethink your drink, it's about making those smart choices, but then also having that cold water in the fridge, accessible to children at their level, where they can go and access water whenever they want to, and to really try, at least for grown-ups and for adults, to get to that 6-7 glasses of water a day.
Wow. And I think related to this, there's a lot in the news about excise tax on alcohol, and it going up by a reported 80% in February. But there are lots of low alcohol or no alcohol alternatives out there for these heat wave circumstances we're experiencing, and they're also low in calories.
Absolutely. I think while we are thinking, in that direction, we can also talk about smart snacking. And during the holidays, either you're on a road trip somewhere or you're at home. And so snacking is something, we also saw that during COVID, how people, started to snack really often. And again, it's all about preparation, making sure that you do have those healthy choices in your home or in your car. And I think a great way to do that is to support local, to go to the local fresh markets, to find affordable fruits that you can make sure that both for your kids and for you and in the car, that you do have those healthy options available.
Absolutely. And I think local also produced within South Africa has the lower carbon footprint.
Absolutely.
All the other sort of things that economists are interested in, say, is supporting local industry, supporting local jobs.
Yes.
I don't want to say don't buy the grapes from wherever or the dates from wherever, but the principle stands. If it's local, it's better.
Absolutely.
And fresher probably as well.
Yeah, and then I think maybe last point to finish off with is trying to stay active, with your family. Summer in South Africa is probably the best time to be outdoors, to be active. And nowadays, be it, if you stay in town, to walk to the coffee in the morning rather than to drive there, or wherever you are in the country, to go and book that paddle court with your family, or to go and do that day hike, or to make sure that in some way you do reach that 30 minutes active level every day, and to make that fun for you and your whole family.
And getting the kids in on that as well.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a lot of good advice, and it links to the ideas of budgeting, saving, preparing, but also enjoying what you have in a responsible, sensible way, and getting yourself one step ahead for those 2025 New Year's resolutions. Christine, thank you very much.